Alright, welcome battlers. We're going to be breaking down my first opponent in the GG Ranch Remote Sinister Cup. Going up here against TheReaper. He's already achieved Rival at this point and is definitely a well-respected trainer in our community. Has won a few cups, so tough draw right off the bat. First thing I'm going to be looking at is my spice pick Ferrothorn. Let's see how I got some good matchups there where I can bring him in. First thing that jumps out at me is the Claydol. Claydol actually does cause some problems for my team, and one of the reasons that Ferrothorn was able to lock down a spot is he handles Claydol very well. So that's a nice green matchup for me there. Dusclops is not something I want to see. That Fire Punch, not anything with fire moves you want to try to avoid. Mawaile's more of a yellow matchup. One of the few matchups you do want to actually shield a power-up punch if you're Ferrothorn if you end up in that matchup. But ultimately more of like a yellow. Alolan Marowak, that's going to end up to be red. Especially if he's Fire Spin Whack, you want to get out of there as quick as possible. You do have the matchup against Steelix, and you do have the matchup against Poliwrath. So those are looking good. As I said, red on the AWAC, red on the Dusclops, and we would make Mawile yellow there. So again, if you guys are familiar from my previous videos, I try to concentrate on the things my Pokemon do well. Of course, it's important to know when to get out of there and who you can't beat, but right now when I'm trying to analyze who I'm going to bring against their team, I want to make sure I've got the team covered. So when I have my Ferrothorn in, usually Poliwrath provides good coverage for him. You're going to see here that provides a little extra backup against Steelix. That's not a super big win for Ferrothorn, so it's nice to have a little bit of backup. Ferrothorn is scared of Alolan Marowak, so it's good that my Poly, especially with the moveset that I'm running, can handle Marowak pretty well. Mawile definitely does not want to see Poliwrath or any of the fighters really. Dusclops is actually kind of a yellow matchup. Even could consider it to be green depending, but I'll consider it to be yellow. And then Claydol is actually red, but if you are coming in after a positive matchup and you're powered up, a powered up Ice Punch will do a ton to Claydol. But those confusions are just going to really take you out quick. That Psychic's going to just delete you. So I'm going to make that red. Yellow is going to be the Poliwrath match, the mirror. It's my Poliwrath with Power Punch, Ice Punch is actually the worst moveset for the mirror. So we don't really want to see another Poly. Though we're not going to lose too bad in that scenario. Probably won't be switching out. It's not something we want to see, or it's not something we're going to draw a green line as that we cover. So as you can see, we've got pretty good coverage across at this point. I did consider bringing Bastiodon to cover that Dusclops there. The major concern I have with that is Bastiodon does not see many other positive matchups. Poliwrath's going to destroy him. Steelix has got that. He will beat AWAC, but those going to do some super effective damage. So you don't, not a really great matchup. Mawile, again, that's more of a yellow matchup. And then the Claydol is going to beat you as well. So, as you can see, I would do it about like this, and only really one solid green line for Dusclops. So, wanted to bring Bastiodon just because it does handle Dusclops so well, but instead I actually opted for the Alolan Marowak. So, Alolan Marowak, you are going to be able to cover Steelix again if all the shields are up. The Alolan Marowak mirror, if he's running Hex, he got you, but really that's a yellow matchup type. Again, you're able to take out Mawile. Fire Spin makes that happen with the Bone Club. Dusclops is also going to be green, as long as you can get a little bit of bait, or even if not, still pretty positive matchups there against Dusclops. And although you don't want to see those Earth moves from Claydol, he definitely provides a ton of shield pressure. You do got something for him there as well, so looked a little bit better, a lot less red on the screen with my Alolan Marowak. It's more, and you'll find that to be the case with him a lot, it's more greens and yellows as opposed to any dark red matchups that you're really going to want to avoid. So, as you can see with those three Pokemon, I feel like I have pretty good coverage. I think it was the second match I did opt to actually bring Bastiodon over the Alolan Marowak. But let's go ahead and jump into the battles and see how this goes. Alright, let's get into these battles here. You can see Poliwrath versus Mawile. Jackpot. Exactly what you want to see coming in advantageously. Gives you a much better chance to win. So we're going to come in here, and he looks like he's staying in, at least to the first power-up punch, or at least he sees what my charge move is. Probably knows if it comes this quick. I said high-level trainer that it is a power-up punch. He's going to let it come on through. And at that point, he's going to get out of there. He wants nothing to do with those powered-up bubbles. putting himself at a slight disadvantage coming in against a Poliwrath that's already powered up and with a slight energy advantage. Depending on his moveset on his Poliwrath here, that could have been a mistake. Could be a team comp issue, depending, maybe he has nothing great to counter. Or sometimes a lot of us battlers know that it's better to go with a soft counter and not leave yourself switch locked to something that's really going to come in and be countered hard. Unfortunately for him, I do have a Ferrothorn, which is going to counter Poliwrath a little bit better than the Poliwrath Mirror. So I am going to come in with a Ferrothorn, especially once I see that that was Power Up Punch that was coming in. Dynamic Punch is a little scarier for Ferrothorn, but Hydro Pump, Ice Punch, Power Up Punch, none of those moves are overly concerning. So I'm going to come in with the Acid Spray here. Expecting a shield. Those grass moves really put a lot of fear into the water type Pokemon, but you can see he doesn't shield. It actually could be an advantage to me if I was to have gone Power Whip and he didn't shield. I'm still switch locked and he can bring in the Alolan Marowak if he has it on the team and really melt me down with those fire spins. As it is, I am going to have to use a shield here, you'll see. Probably could have gotten away without it, honestly. It would have had a scratch of health left, but I do shield it up. This other Power Up Punch, because as you know, they gradually do more and more damage. Now I'm able to farm down, and I have a charge move ready for this next mon up here. So we're going to see what he brings in next. And we're waiting to Acid Spray whatever it is. You see, I don't wait to actually see it come in. I did hear the sound of Marowak coming in. If you have sound on, you'll be able to hear the Pokemon coming in before you can see them. So I get the Acid Spray off, and I am going to come in here with my own Marowak. He did have the energy advantage. I was afraid he was to the Shadow Ball, so I do go ahead and block it. That is my last shield, and you know, it's very rare that you're going to come back and win a match down in the O2 shields. So I do go to the Shadow Ball here because I know I'm not going to be able to get to another charge move after this. He's going to have that Shadow Ball ready in about 1 or 2 more fire spins, and I'm going to be out of there. So on the off chance he doesn't shield, I go ahead and throw the Shadow Ball. I suppose I could have double Bone Clubbed. I think I would have barely had enough for that, but I wanted to play it safe and make sure I did get at least one of his shields. Boom, Shadow Ball, and you can see I am gone. So now my Poly's already powered up. I'm going to come in here, and he's Acid Sprayed, and I'm powered up. Those bubbles are doing a ton. I love it. This Ice Punch, if this goes unshielded, this is going to knock him out. So pretty quick turnaround to get those shields back. And as you can see, I do get them both back. He's going to switch out again back into the Mawile. And this Power Up Punch is going to obliterate that Mawile. And this is more of a team comp victory in my eyes. I was able to put in some good work and get the favorable lead. And that was pretty much all she wrote from there. No shields are left, but this Power Punch isn't going to do too much. Power Punch isn't that much in general anymore, and no, it's not super effective or anything to my Poliwrath. So Poly coming back in here is going to get to this next Power Punch. I should have Ice Punched, would have been game over. Ice Punch powered up as much as it is, and him being Acid Sprayed is for sure going to do the work. Not sure why I went Power Punch, but it's not going to matter. You see it still does a little bit, even being triple resisted. Since he's Acid Sprayed and I'm powered up. And I do get the fairly easy victory there in round 1. Again, chalking it up to a team comp victory with a different team composition. That could have been really ugly. So I feel like maybe I have scared away his Mawile at this point. And although I didn't show it in my intro, this other line here with Ferrothorn, Bastiodon, Cresselia is something I've practiced with a lot. And as long as their fighter isn't a counter user, I feel pretty comfortable with it. So we'll see. I'm going to come in with Ferrothorn lead this time, and he's coming with Poliwrath. So again, great lead for me. Makes it so much easier to get these W's if you're able to predict correctly in the win. Some might call it luck, but a lot of people say that luck is when opportunity meets preparation. Put a lot of prep into this cup. Had a lot of different practices and sims to get to this point. So yes, it is partially luck, but you know, you're not going to get lucky if you're not prepared. So coming in again, he let the first charge move through last time, so I thought maybe he'll let this one through. He does not, but that's alright. I will take the shield advantage. Shield advantage is a big advantage in this game. If you're able to get an advantage on shields, can definitely pay off later in the match. So again, I'm not going to need to shield anything coming in from his Poly. Only move you really got to worry about from Poliwrath is Ferrothorn is that Dynamic Punch. That will just about OHKO you, but you know, I've found at this point, I've gotten the information he does not have the Dynamic Punch on this Poly, so I have no fear. So you can see now I'm up at a 2-0 shield advantage. It's going to be a tough uphill climb for him to climb back out of that kind of hole. I think he's just really trying to take out my Ferrothorn. You can see he comes through again, and I am able to barely get the acid spray on this Dusclops, which is a thing of beauty. Ferrothorn's absolutely doing work in this round 1. Really the first time I've really had to put him to the test, and really performed beautifully in a competitive scenario. So now Bastiodon has got Dusclops covered big time as it is, but once he's been acid sprayed, oh man, there's not really much Dusclops can do. You can see whether this is Shadow Punch or whether this is Fire Punch, it's not concerning my my Bastiodon here. He is not scared. And you can see that the Dusclops does get to those moves very quickly, but again, doesn't matter how quick you get to them if they're only doing little scratches of damage. I'm not concerned. And those smackdowns are doing a lot. They do a lot if you're not acid sprayed. But once you've taken an acid spray to the eyeball, those smackdowns are really going to make short work. He'll be lucky to get me down to half health here by the time that this Dusclops is deleted. And my Bastiodon is just loaded up with energy right now, waiting for the next man to come in without any shields. It's going to be taking either a flamethrower or a stone edge straight away. And I should be able to get to another flamethrower or stone edge. As you can see, here comes the flamethrower. It's not going to do a ton of damage to Polly, but this is all just bonus damage at this point. He's done his job of taking out the Dusclops. Nice little bonus damage, and I'm going to quickly switch into my Cresselia. Cresselia takes this matchup, especially with 2 shields against Claydol. You can see the Aurora Beam being an ice type move is going to be super effective. And just again, a nice team comp and lead really set me up nicely. And call it luck, could call it preparation, whatever you want to call it. A little bit of both, I would say. And really able to do a lot of work in this matchup. So again, Cresselia has really got this. I'm using the shields because I'm not trying to take any chances. Still the correct play to shield that Earth Power in this situation. So I'm going to go ahead and use the shield. But this last Aurora Beam should do it. And then just going to be one more confusion onto that Poly. And that's GG's. Handled very easily. Make it look easy, but hey, again, team comp and lead, when you got those 2 things going for you, makes it easy. Makes it look easy. But you know, he could have very easily picked Mawile again and gotten his Mawile against my Cresselia, and then, you know, it's a whole different ball game in that case. So as you can see, these are the 2 teams I was looking at. The one that I did in the intro, and then the other one with what I call my 3-tank team. I'm going to go back to the intro team here. Try to keep him guessing, keep him on his toes. Although, I am coming back with that Poliwrath lead again. I feel pretty safe there. And, again, boom. Winning the lead 3 times in a row. Ain't nothing wrong with that. So we're going to come in here. Really, the textbook says to just go straight Ice Punch against the Loa Marowak. But I almost always go for this Power Up Punch first. I like my bubbles to get powered up. I like my Ice Punches to get powered up. He makes a correct play there and does not shield it. But that's what it is. So we're going to see what kind of charge move he fires off. Here's the Bone Club. Ooh, I call his bluff as well, and I do not shield there. So if he would have gone Shadow Ball there, that could have been a game changer. So now I'm going to come in here again with a Power Up Punch again. He's in range now with a Powered Up Ice Punch. This could knock him out, so I might get the shield here. It's going to put him really low if not. But again, he chooses not to shield, makes another wise decision. At this point, I am expecting the Shadow Ball. He's probably not going to get to another charge move, so a pretty safe bet that Shadow Ball's coming in. Still, I don't shield. I'm not trying to give him the shield advantage. He comes in again, and I'm going to Ice Punch on his Poly before I go down. And again, since I'm doubly powered up, this is going to do a little bit of work, even though it's resisted. Probably not the best play on my end, but a nice little chunk of damage, a little more than a quarter of his health. And again, I got my Ferrothorn coming in. Not scared of any of these charge moves that this Poly has. Bring in what you're going to bring in. Does not matter. I'm not scared of it as this Ferrothorn. No, he does not have the Dynamic Punch, so he can let charge moves rain down whatever he wants, and I am not going to be shielding. Again, I'm going to Acid Spray here. All the shields are up. He's got to be terrified that if a power-up comes through, it's going to delete him, but great discipline on the Reaper's part. He calls me correctly again. We chatted after the match, and he called all my moves. He called all my bluffs, but just the team comp and the leads were really what got it for me in this matchup. It didn't matter that he was able to call all my moves. Again, here, just the energy working out great. I'm able to feint him down. Got another charge move charged up. I'm going to go ahead and go with the Power Whip because Marowak is at such low health that if he lets this one through, it should KO from here. And if he burns the shield, well, that's great too. So I do get the shield. Should have Acid Sprayed. And not quite. Those fire spins just do so much, I'm not quite able to get to another charge. But those powered up bubbles, oh, not enough left in the tank to get it done there. So my own Marowak versus his Marowak. Thankfully all the shields are still up. And I'm going to be able to come in and farm down on the rest of them here. He does go for the Bone Club, but since I'm just one fast move away, he's not able to get off another charge. And now I got the energy advantage. This ended up being one of the closest match of the series. Wild does handle business pretty well against the Alola Marowak, but if you have the energy advantage like I was able to gain there, and there's not a ton of shields left to be playing around with, you can get this done. The Fire Spin will get it done for you. If you have Hex, you're going to be in a world of hurt, but Fire Spin, Bone Club, both going to be super effective against them a while. You see the shield light up red? Oh, it's like Christmas. Now this is a power up punch. I'm still going to shield it because I have the shield there. Ain't no use going to the end of the match having a shield left over, so I might as well go ahead and shield. And you can see that's going to be all she wrote. Very much closer match that time, but GG's to the Reaper. Now as you can see, this is one of my first times using Ferrothorn, and this is through my GG Ranch Discord. I have pretty good friends with everybody on there, so we're going to have a little bit of banter here after. Reaper says thanks for kicking my ass. GG's. And like I said, he's a well-respected, highly ranked trainer, so I wasn't really expecting to roll through him like that. Tell him GG's. I was a little unsure about my team going in, honestly, and I told him my team is beast. And then if you follow me on Twitter, you've seen me make this sentiment a few times. Pharaoh's so good, PV Poke is wrong. PV Poke, I love you, Kakuna Matata. You are the man. Not often wrong, but in my opinion, in this case, Ferrothorn is underranked.